Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch everyone and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they've pledged you a lifelong commitment. The Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets. I'm Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And this week we watched the 1977 TV special Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas, which aired first in Canada on December 4th, 1977, but didn't air in the U.S. until December 17th, 1978, and then aired a few more times over the years. So this is a little bit out of the ordinary for our chronological thing we do, because normally we try to go off of U.S. airings, but we wanted to go for this. It was just the first time it aired. And as a reminder of how this podcast works, if this is the first time you're listening, we are going chronologically through every Muppet thing we can get our hands on. And this special happened to air right in the middle of Season 2 of The Muppet Show. So we're talking about it right in the middle of our episodes about Season 2 of The Muppet Show.
And we're recording it on Halloween Day.
Yes, the spookiest of movies.
It's not right with me.
But this week we have a special guest, Emmet Otter aficionado. Katherine Green is here.
Hello, yes, I'm an Emmet Otter stan.
I think you're using that properly.
I don't know how many times I've watched this movie, but I also tell everyone I know about it.
I feel like if there's two things I know about Katherine Green, one, she hates the bop bop bahs in Sweet Caroline.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then two, she loves Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas.
That's it. That's my personality.
Why do you hate the Bop Bop Buzz?
Hate them. I really like that song,
Yeah.
and I feel like they just ruin it.
I feel the exact same way. That song is finished forever because that stupid, annoying thing happens
Yeah,
every time.
like I can't listen to it. Like it comes on in the grocery store, and I'm like, I have to leave.
I have seen you at baseball games have a visceral reaction to like, oh God, here it comes. Everyone's going to do the thing.
Yeah, it's also some sort of like I don't know. I think it's like a reaction to the culture of it, just like the way it makes me feel. Just like, ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely it's got a weird vibe to it. Like it feels aggressive and like it's attacking you when it's happening.
Yeah, it's aggressive. Anyway.
Yeah. So Muppets. But yeah, do you have memories of like watching this as a kid?
You know, I was trying to think about that when I was thinking about coming on this podcast, because I don't really. And I didn't do the thing where I like asked my mom if she remembered where, because that's just rude. Like she doesn't remember any better than I do. I remember specifically watching other Muppets things. I don't know how I was first introduced to this, but I think it didn't happen until later in my life. Like maybe teenager or even like in college. But once I saw it, I was like, oh, this is something that is going to be a thing for me.
So you didn't know about the book first and seek this out because of the book?
No, I didn't. I knew about the show first, definitely. But then, yeah, once Oren was born, I was like, oh, this is a book. I got to get this book. So I actually do have a couple copies of the book. I have like a first edition original book and then just like a reproduction, because I was like, well, I want to read one to Oren, but he's not getting his hands on this other one.
This, yeah.
Yeah.
And were you into other Muppet things as a kid? Like, were you into the Muppet Show and other things?
Sesame Street was my like first, like, I'm a Muppet fan from Sesame Street. But yeah, my family watched the Muppet Show on TV. I feel like I remember watching it on TV. So it must have shown just like on normal like network TV at some point. I was born in 1980, so it wasn't when it was. Maybe it was like later episodes.
It was just finishing up.
That was like the last year it was on. Yeah.
I think they must have been rebroadcasting it
Well, I think it was still like one of the most popular shows in the world or something when it went off the air. So they probably just never stopped playing it.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a
I
decade
definitely
or something.
remember watching The Muppet Show and being like, this is weird and cool. And like the whole family enjoys it because it's one of those things that works on like, multiple levels. And then the other like Muppet things that I was obsessed with, I love The Great Muppet Caper. That's maybe my favorite of the Muppet cinema movies. Like
It's a very, very good, and I think it's not talked about as much as like obviously like the Muppet movie and some of the newer stuff. But it's it is. It's great.
Yeah.
I think the plot of it is like one of the better like through plots. And just like
the idea of Fozzie and Kermit being twin brothers.
Yeah, and it's set in England, which I've always been like, an Anglophile fan of those kind of things. Yeah, so I mean, I just love the Muppets, and I remember when Jim Henson died. Like I remember that happening and being terribly distraught. That's the first time I remember like someone, like a celebrity dying that like really impacted me.
Mm-hmm. When did he die? In 92? Is that right?
It was 1990. Yeah, so I was 10. And I think we watched the memorial service. And just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And they sing the song from this movie at the memorial service. Go back and watch that if you want to just really lose it.
Yeah, no, that whole thing, like, we're going to eventually like watch that memorial service as a part of this podcast, and it's so rough. It's appropriately sad, but it's a lot, and especially when they're doing songs.
There's
like
a lot of songs that I
Meet to See
first heard in that memorial service, and then we'll get to them on the Muppet Show, and I'll be like, oh my God, I can't watch this. It's too sad.
Too sad. Yeah. So the Muppets like are very like I don't know if the word is maudlin, but like it's one of those things where I love it so much, but it also makes me sad like concurrently so often. Like I can't really get like if I'm paying attention and watching Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas, I'm like crying. I'm crying at parts of it. The like Sesame Street Christmas specials. They get me so bad.
I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, Sam. Oh my God.
I think it's they're coming up pretty soon for us. Yeah.
They're so good. All the Christmas specials are really good.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where like a lot of the very like earnest, sincere things that the Muppets do are some of my favorite things. Whether it's like Gonzo singing his heart out about like how sad of a creature he is, or like Robin singing halfway down the stairs. Like these are things that I'm just like, yes, those are some of my favorite Muppet things.
Ernie, I don't want to live on the moon. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Why? Like the way that it's like this is a freaking puppet. Just the earnestness and the like the true like emotion that comes through these puppets. Something that it hits me like nothing else really does. So.
And I feel like Emmet Otter is sort of the like culmination
it really
of a lot
is.
of that.
It's like putting it all together in this way that is like so perfect with the music. And was this the first time Paul Williams wrote music for the Muppets?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had appeared on the Muppet Show before this, but this was the first time that he started to actually like create things for them.
He's like, "Oh, I got you. I got you all the songs here. Ain't no hole in the wash tub." Like it's so good. Oh, I don't know how he got like right into the vibe of these like poor country otters living on the riverbank.
Yeah, I think he kind of contributed a lot to a vibe that they will bring forward with them too. Like this feels more like the Muppet movie than like any of the Muppet Show stuff we've watched so far.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, weren't they mostly using like original, not original songs? Like they were just saying popular music or
old vaudeville stuff.
Yeah. There were a handful of songs that they were like writing and creating for the Muppet Show, but most of the things they were doing on the Muppet Show were other people's songs. And the thing we pointed out multiple times here is that what they would normally do is find a song, remove the metaphor, and just make it like literal.
Totally.
And that was the formula for a Muppet Show musical
Yes.
number.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is the first time where they're really doing a full thing with original songs to that really, like, in a lot of ways, Emmet Otter sets them up for the Muppet movie. And in a lot of ways, they were using Emmet Otter as a sort of test to test out these marionette systems and the radio-controlled puppets and a lot of these things that they will go on to do in bigger ways, like a year later in the Muppet movie.
Yeah,
that
this
they were
has-
just, like, testing out.
Yeah, this has got everything in it. It's got Kermit on a bike. It's got the rowboat, and I'm like, how
my
are
gosh,
they?
the
How are they
rowboat.
doing the? Is it underneath? Are they underneath?
No.
well,
Well, before we get into
It's so
talking too much
good.
about specifics, we're gonna go ahead and let Sam tell us what we watched. What is Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas, Sam?
Alice Otter and her son Emmet are a couple of kind but down on their luck otters living in a kind but down on its luck animal community called Frogtown Hollow. They paddle up and down the river doing odd jobs and singing little songs together, but they both secretly want more from life. They also literally want something more as well, as Emmet would love a new guitar, and the pair have a shared trauma over having to sell their beloved piano. As Christmas approaches, they dream of buying each other amazing gifts, and wouldn't you know it, the Frogtown Hollow talent show is about to happen, and the winner gets a cash prize of $50. Alice and Emmet both independently decide to join, Alice as a solo singer and Emmet in a jug band with his friends, but in order to do so, they must both sacrifice something that the other one loves. So Alice has to sell Emmet's tools, with which he does handyman work, in order to pay for a dress to sing in, and Emmet has to put a hole in his mom's wash tub, which she does laundry for clients with, to make a hillbilly stand-up bass for the band. They do both of those things and perform in the talent show. Both their acts go over well, but the judges are razzle-dazzled by the River Bottom Nightmare Band, a rock act from a nearby town. The Nightmare Band win the money, and just to add insult to injury, the local rich guy, a club owner named Doc Bullfrog, tells them that they were almost good enough to win, but not quite good enough to win. On the walk home, Alice and Emmet confess their sins to each other and then break out in song, as Muppets are wont to do. A passing Doc Bullfrog hears them singing together and tells them that now they're good enough to win and good enough to be an act in his nightclub with a regular spot performing, and I think he pays them too, so that all their problems are over.
One thing to note before we get too far into talking about this as well is there's like 5 or 6 different versions of this movie out there in the world that have existed. It's the Star Wars of Muppets. It's just like they keep changing things and re-editing things and putting things back in. So originally in the 1977 version, it's pretty much probably what we watched. I know Sam and I both watched the same Blu-ray copy, so I think like we watched the same version of this. And not much is different from the version we watched to that. But later on, in 1980, they added some Kermit narration throughout. Not just the Kermit scenes at the beginning and end, but there's like lines of dialogue from Kermit to be like, and now, let's do this thing.
Oh, weird.
And that was used for the 1983 VHS release and like the Nickelodeon broadcast in the 90s. But they also added some additional dialogue. They added more verses to Ain't No Hole in the Wash Tub. And they shortened When the River Meets the Sea in that version. And then in 1996... they made some more edits that were used for the 1996 and 1998 VHS releases and the 2001 DVD release. Kermit's narration was removed again, so back to the original no Kermit narration. They added a few more lines of dialogue, and the Kermit scene at the restaurant had been completely removed.
Oh.
And then, 2005, they put out a collector's edition DVD. It's important to note that this came 1 year after Disney bought the Muppets. So Kermit was very Disney, Emmet Otter was not. And so this restored the original 1977 edit, only it removed everything having to do with Kermit. So there was no Kermit in Emmet Otter's at all in that version.
But there was originally Kermit in Emmet Otter, in the one that aired
Yes,
on
there was
TV.
originally Kermit
Okay.
first version, but there was no narration in the middle. There was just like the
Right.
the bookends. And then finally, in 2015, ABC Family aired the Kermit cut for the first time since 2004. It had not been aired in like 11 years. And although they aired it in a cropped 16:9 widescreen version, which is not how it should be aired, apparently they also cut out a lot of things from that TV airing. So if you were watching this on ABC Family, and maybe if you still watch on ABC Family, this is the version you're getting. The joking around with Emmet where he's joking about knitting more socks to barter more pumpkins to make more pies to buy more wool, that's gone.
That's so cute, though.
I know.
Ain't
Why
no
would you
hole in
take
the
that
wash
out?
tub, they cut that out.
Oh my God.
When the river meets the sea, they cut that out.
What the hell?
Like the heart and soul of the movie?
It's like half the songs.
Right? Like, you're watching a very different movie if you are watching the ABC Family cut of this film.
Wow.
So
That's so
thankfully, the 2018 Blu-ray release, which is how Sam and I watched it, is the most complete version that you can like buy now. There is like the version on YouTube, which I think is pretty much the same cut, but that one does not have the narration in the middle, but it does have Kermit at the beginning and end. And some of the changes that were made throughout the years you can watch in the deleted or alternate scenes on the Blu-ray and aren't in the movie itself. So again, it's sort of hard to find like the definitive version because it's been different every single time they release it.
Yeah, I'm thinking back, and now I feel like I discovered it on YouTube originally. Like I was just watching Muppet stuff, and somebody had just like digitized their VHS copy and put it on YouTube, and that's how I originally watched it. So whatever version that was probably the one that I saw first, because I didn't have like Disney Channel or anything or Nickelodeon growing up, so that must have been it. I must have originally found it on YouTube. So sometime in the mid-aughts is probably when I originally saw it for the first time.
That's probably still the same version that's up on YouTube too, because I feel like it's just been up there forever and they don't care to delete it for some reason.
Yeah, it's interesting because now I watch I watch it on like Amazon Prime, whatever the version is that's streaming on Amazon Prime. Probably the Blu-ray version.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty similar, but the one that's on YouTube might have the narration over it. I'm not sure because I was looking at the comparison on the Muppet Wiki and being like, I feel like I have heard those narrations, but yeah, the editing out of those two songs is just like who approved this?
Yeah, like I understand you need to like trim it down for time and like get it shorter or like that, but like that's the stuff you cut out. Like cut out some of the talent show. Like this, maybe you don't need the squirrels in this one, but you can keep Ain't No Hole in the Wash Tub.
That's Oren's favorite part, though.
The squirrels are
The
fun. I
squirrels.
love the squirrels. Yeah.
The squirrels and the rabbits. He gets up on the couch and he does the dance with the rabbits when they're doing their kicks.
Yeah, the little bouncy kicks.
And the kicks. Yeah, it's a new experience. I was very excited to show Oren this movie after he was born, and it's now like one of the only movies that he will sit through and watch. I mean, it is like an hour long, so
Right.
that's helpful. But yeah, he doesn't really love movies, but he will watch Emmet Otter anytime.
Have
And
you
I
got
love
him into
it.
other Muppet stuff yet?
We showed him the Big Bird movie, Follow That Bird, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it's too sad. They put Big Bird in a cage.
Oh my god.
It's like, I don't want to watch it again.
They put Big Bird in a cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He
What
gets
does he
captured
do?
and he gets taken to the circus.
Oh no. That's horrible.
And they like paint him blue. It's terrible. But it's, it's a Muppet movie, and I've showed him like half of the Muppet movie, the original Muppet movie, and he's like, eh.
Yeah.
So like we'll watch the scene of Kermit singing in the beginning. And what else is he? I think we've watched some of the Christmas specials with him,
Yeah.
which he enjoys, like the Sesame Street Christmas special, the John Denver one, Muppets Christmas, like the one where they go home for
the
Christmas.
Muppet Family Christmas?
Yeah, Muppet
Yeah, it's
Family
a great
Christmas.
one.
That
I
one's
love
great.
that.
He likes that one.
Those
So
are a little
yeah,
more
that,
high energy than the Muppet movie. The Muppet movie's a little slow. It's fun,
Yeah.
but it's slow. It's like
it's
not.
not.
For
It doesn't
children,
keep a
really.
kid's attention necessarily. Yeah. But this one he will watch. And when I was pregnant, I seriously considered Emmet as a name.
That would be
Actually,
great.
because of this movie.
I need to point out though that this is the first time Sam ever watched this.
Uh-huh.
Well, what did you think?
That I am very curious because traditionally on this show, Sam's least favorite characters are very sweet Jerry Nelson puppeteered characters like Robin the Frog
I was
and
worried about
Dog.
this.
Yeah, you like the
And
Goofers.
Emmet Otter is nothing but an entire performance of a very sweet Jerry Nelson.
That's what I wrote. I wrote, oh God, is this going to be a whole movie of Robins? But this is actually I think this was not my favorite Muppet thing ever, but I think this is the best thing that they've ever done up until this point, at least. And maybe ever. Like in terms of the puppetry and the sets and the storyline and like the jokes and all that stuff, a lot of the other specials, they'll have like bad jokes or there'll be like a human in it who is a bad actor and you do not want to watch them. But this is just like every single thing about it hits. I loved it. I like old Rolf stuff better than I like this, but this is maybe like my second place favorite Muppet thing at this point.
It's just really complete. Like everything in it works.
Yeah, it's really like it's one of those things where it's a very weird choice for Jim Henson to make at this time because he's on top of the world with like the Muppet Show. It's the most popular show in the world, and he goes, "What if we made a movie starring pretty much none of our Muppet characters, of all of these puppets that look like real animals, not abstract, cartoonish ones, and it's very heartfelt and doesn't have a lot of jokes really throughout it." And it's like, okay, Jim. And that kind of only happened because Jim Henson put $525,000 of his own money up to make this movie.
Jeez.
Wow.
And so it's one of those
that's
things where I
70s
don't
money,
think this would
too.
happen.
That's 70s money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows because everything is so like pristine and like all the details are considered. The costuming, you know, like the sets, the way they do the skies in the background, like the sun is setting as they're like rowing down the river. It's so good.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's like every skill that they had acquired up until this point.
Yeah.
Like they honed it and then put it all into one big project. And I think a lot of people think the Muppet movie is the first time that they sort of brought all those skills together. But Emmet Otter really is the first time that all of those things where it's like they have a giant set. They have a 50-foot river that they built for this movie.
Yeah. And
they have these huge houses and everything's like 6 feet in the air so they can puppeteer underneath all of it. And yeah, like you said, they have the setting sun. And it's just amazing. And it all apparently is because Jim Henson loved the book so much and went to Jerry Jewell and was like, I want you to write a script based on this. And I want us to make like the most accurate version of this as we possibly can.
Oh.
Is it really super similar to the book? Is the Nightmare
much.
Band in the book?
I think they do come into the. Oh boy, I should go get the book and look at it. I haven't read the book recently. I'm gonna get the book.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. So this book was published in 1971. So see, this is the
Same little outfit and everything.
same little outfit and everything. And like,
Yeah, it was like they didn't even need concept art. It was just like hand this book over
it's
to the
there.
puppet makers and was like, make this.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's amazing.
it's such a sweet little book. But yeah, they a little bit is some of it's a little different, but then came the Riverbend Nightmare. All of them wearing silvery spangled costumes.
Ooh, I like the silvery spangly costumes.
The River Bottom Gang doesn't feature before that
Right.
in the book.
Right.
Like they just show up in the talent contest.
Uh-huh.
They're not like destroying the music shop beforehand or
Right.
But
They have very
are
little
the-
impact on the story really before that anyway. They don't
Yeah.
really interact with Emmett too much.
I think they're pretty much there because the puppeteers wanted like one sweet character and one nasty character to play because all of them are like played by somebody who's also playing a sweet character. So like Dave Goles gets to be Wendell, but he also gets to be like the catfish. And then Frank Oz is performing Ma Otter, but he's not voicing Ma Otter, but he's also gets to be Chuck in the Nightmare Band. And
Yeah.
then Jerry Nelson gets to be Emmett, but he's also Weasel. And so, yeah, I think they all get to be one sweet and one nasty.
Yeah, I think that actually, like, that does elevate the story a little bit more too, to like have those like characters that have a little bit different motivation than some of the others.
I don't think they did anything wrong. They were perfect. They just went to the show and they did their best and they won.
Well, I mean, they did show up from like 5 towns over to the like
Well, sure,
local
but-
to the local talent contest.
But they obviously rehearsed. They didn't just slap it together.
They were clearly like talented.
This special, I think, again, we mentioned just how it like comes together and brings all these things together. But it even did that with the performers, because I mentioned briefly of like Frank Oz performed the puppeteering of Ma Otter, which is delightful in the outtakes, which we will definitely talk about. But the voice of Ma Otter was provided by Marilyn Sokol, who did all the singing and the lines. And so what they did for that is that on set, Frank Oz would perform the lines, and then later on she would dub them over. But for the songs, they had pre-recorded the songs before they started shooting the movie. So for those, Frank Oz was just lip-syncing the puppet to those on set. And Marilyn Sokol actually had already worked with the Muppets. She came in for a puppet workshop back when they were doing the Great Santa Claus Switch. And so because they were looking to hire a bunch of puppeteers for that, she got hired to work on that. And she did voice and puppeteering on that. But everyone sort of decided, you know who's not great at puppeteering? Marilyn.
Oh.
So when they wanted her to be in Emmet Otter, they were like, hey, yeah, you can do the voice for this, but Frank's going to handle the puppetry because you're not so good at that part.
Well, that's probably okay.
Yeah, and I think it works. I don't think you watch this and feel like there's any sort of disconnect until you watch the outtakes and you're like, Ma's voice is a little different.
Yeah.
Why does she sound like Miss Piggy all of a sudden? Everything about it comes together for me. All the little like characterizations, his little Jug-Band friends, Harvey Beaver. What's the porcupine's name? I can't remember right now, but
Wendell.
The porcupine's name
Wendell.
is Harvey Beaver, yeah. It's a weird choice, but that is his name.
Harvey Beaver, Wendell Porcupine, something Muskrat. They're
Charlie,
just so good. Yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah, Wendell is one that I think is obviously a highlight for his personality, but also to me because he's performed by Dave Goelz, who pretty much up to this point is just doing like Bunsen Honeydew and Gonzo. And Wendell is so far from like a Gonzo or a Bunsen Honeydew that I had to like look up who was performing that. Because most, at this point, Muppet voices to me, I can hear it and I know exactly who's puppeteering that puppet. Wendell was one where I'm like, is that somebody new or different? Because I don't recognize that voice.
Well, he's basically
And I
just
think-
Beauregard, right?
Yeah, eventually we'll get that version of Dave Goelz
Yeah.
on the Muppet Show when he's Beauregard. But I think for now, this is the first time we're sort of seeing a really different character from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's great, and it's like fully fleshed out. He's a whole person, fishing for boots, getting Emmett to help him fix that fence for 50 cents. I'm like, how does the economics work here?
Well, maybe they were in like the Great Depression or something, so I'm not really sure what year they're supposed to be living in. Probably,
I don't
maybe
either.
1970. I don't know. They have
Yeah,
electric
I mean, I
guitars.
can't tell like what the they definitely have electric guitars, but like where are they supposed to be set? I mean, a $40 guitar, that's possible.
Yeah, but then also being stoked about 50 cents, it's like, what is the economics of the...
Well, that's why they're poor. They don't understand money, so they don't know what they're doing.
Jesus.
One really like wild thing about this is that it was only 12 days of filming, and they edited it in 8 days.
Oh my gosh.
So they started shooting this in like mid-March, on March 13th, 1977, and it was like done by the end of March.
I mean, the production must have taken place a lot before that, you know, with putting all the
a lot of
sets
set
and the
building and
puppets
puppet building,
and
all that stuff. Yeah. But the actual like on-set production didn't only took 12 days, and then they were done editing it after 8 days. And I'm like, man, there are YouTube videos I've worked on for longer than that.
And then 200 takes of a drum rolling out of a door.
Yeah, let's talk about these outtakes, because I think that's like, even people who haven't seen Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas, I think have seen these outtakes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're often shared as like hilarious Muppet outtakes. And there's a few mixed in there of like other things that are happening. Like there's other outtakes out there of Emmet Otters that aren't the drum roll. But the famous one is the drum roll, because there's a scene in which the music store is being trashed, and a drum rolls out the door and does a little circle and falls down on the edge of the curb. In the film, it looks effortless. But when you watch the outtakes, you can see that they did about 40 takes of this thing. And this was the most takes, apparently, of anything the Muppets had done up to that point.
Is it only 40? Because at the end they do say 233 or whatever. Is that just like, that doesn't really mean 200?
I don't know. The production code is always a little weird to understand. But yeah, we don't know exactly how many there are. But like based on what we've seen, and I'm assuming some were cut out, there's at least, I'd say, 20, 25 in what we watched.
There were some of those takes I was like, I would have just gone with that one.
Some of them looked fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what was wrong with that one?
Well, in the behind-the-scenes documentary, it was interesting because Jerry Nelson said that like when they first did it in rehearsal, when they didn't have the puppets ready or anything, like they were trying to see if they could do this, it worked perfectly. Like the first time they rolled the drum out, it did a little circle and it fell perfectly on the curb. And so Jim Henson like had it in his head what it should look like, because he's look, it's possible.
Jim.
And so then when they go to shoot it, the ever perfectionist Jim Henson, the director here, is like, well, I know it can be done, so we're gonna do it until it happens again.
Oh no.
Come on, Jimmy.
But you're working with like chaos theory here, Jim, where it's just like you're throwing a drum out of door, hoping it hits a little milk jug and then twists and falls perfectly. Of course that's not going to happen 8 takes in.
Yeah, and
my
characters
gosh.
have lines in the same take, and they have like very specific stage direction they have to do.
Yep.
Horrible.
Turn your heads at exactly the right moment.
And getting like you can just sense Jerry Nelson and Frank Oz's frustration throughout, because multiple times they're just like their arms are just laying down on the ground. There's like at the end, Jerry Nelson as Emmett says like, "Should we do it again?" And Frank Oz just said, "Shut up, Emmett."
Shut up,
Yeah.
Emmett. Spare some change. Spare change for my ma.
Or when she's like, "Emmett, go get it," and he's like, "I can't. I'm
my
stapled to the
feet are
floor."
stapled to the
Feet are
floor.
stapled.
That was horrifying.
Yeah, right?
They're understanding the nature of their reality.
Yeah, anytime Muppets like address that they are puppets, and then the existential like dread of that of like I cannot move from my spot.
What do you mean there's a man's hand inside of me? Did you find the behind the scenes documentary somewhere? Or did you just read about
So
it?
there's two different behind the scenes documentaries on the Blu-ray. One is a more modern one where they like are doing a look back on it. And a really interesting note about that one, Amy Poehler is in it.
Yeah, I read
and
about that just as a fan.
It's pretty much yes, she is serving like the purpose of person who loves Emmet Otter so much that they had to have her on to talk about it.
Hey!
Yeah, you're the Amy Poehler
It's
of our
me.
podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even at the very beginning of it, she's like, I need to reiterate, I had nothing to do with Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas.
I just
But
love it.
the other one that's on there, I think was probably like a 90s or early 2000s documentary that's on there.
Yeah.
And that one has more of the actual sort of behind the scenes information, talking to Paul Williams and Jerry Nelson and stuff about how this was actually made. And interesting in that they talk about there was a lost song that like Paul Williams had written part of a song and they recorded part of a song that just didn't end up going into the final thing. And that's on the Blu-ray as well. You can hear part of that. It's called Born in a Trunk.
The song's too good. It was supposed to be at the talent show, but the song is really good. So I think they probably cut it because they were like, this lady would have won if she had sung the song at the talent show.
They had Marilyn Sokol sing it, but she's not doing the Ma Otter voice. She's doing like I think like a Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland
It's like a
impression
burlesque
sort of thing.
a burlesque act, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
oh gosh. Okay. Well, I've never wanted a Blu-ray before, but
You can just borrow mine.
I don't. How do you play that? I don't have a Blu-ray player.
You gotta get a PlayStation 4. That's what I play mine on. You got a PlayStation 4?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm living in the
Well, you
past.
can borrow my
I have like
PlayStation.
I have like a Wii U and an Xbox 360.
yeah, I don't think
I think a
either of those
360 might play Blu-rays.
It
Maybe.
could, yeah. That could
I
be
don't
true.
even know if it functions anymore.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
like,
I don't think that's
yeah.
true now that I think about it. Yeah. Well,
Catherine, is there anything you don't like about this special?
It's too short. No. Yeah, no, I don't think there is anything that I don't like about it. I just wanted to spend more time in that world. You know, it's a short book, so they were working off of a very small amount of source material, but yeah.
I
don't
kind
know.
of agree with you in that I think that make more Emmet Otter specials. They should have just made up more, like, they should have just made up other excuses to go back to this world.
Right?
And,
You made this whole place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, yeah, like we've said, these characters are like, they're almost more fleshed out than the Muppet Show characters. Like, they are, I think, more fleshed out than the Muppet Show characters. It almost made me dislike the Muppet Show a little bit more. I think the Muppet Show's fine, but there's a lot of like, kind of like lazy decisions in the Muppet Show, I feel like, or like not a lot of attention to detail is paid sometimes, and it's kind of like, what do you guys are just phoning it in over there this week. But this is
especially
just
like when it comes to character moments and like
Yeah.
backstories of like characters will just like mention their mom or their aunt or their dad or that, and it doesn't really have any like weight on the story. Whereas like in this, the story is that they're celebrating a holiday without dad because he died.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, this is heavy.
He died and he left us destitute. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a snake oil
He was
salesman.
like a no
Like,
good fella, but we loved him. But still, we are very poor because of his horrible decisions.
yep, we have to.
he has ruined our lives.
Oh God, he's like their inspiration for the whole like downfall of their choices. They're like, Pa would do it. Pa would
Yeah,
put a hole in the
right?
wash tub.
That's not a good reason to do anything.
I was like, what? You don't like you saw what happened when Pa made decisions.
It's so
yeah.
funny that it's a gift of the Magi story, except it's like they both are making selfish decisions and like destroying the livelihood of the other person in their life. I thought that was such an interesting take on it, and it's like such a huge gamble, but not even with their own happiness, just with the happiness of the other person who they live with and care most about in the world. It's like, if this didn't work out, then from Ma's perspective, it would just be like, well, he doesn't have his tool chest anymore, so fuck him, I guess.
Yeah, I got a dress.
Yeah, we can't afford a new wash tub. We can't afford to work on any projects because we don't have any tools. All we have is one dress. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I guess that's probably the weakest part of it is just that moment of them making that decision.
But
But
I think it's like
it had
it's
to
pretty
happen.
realistic too, though.
Yeah.
I think it's like
Yeah.
you have to take like in the real world. I think if you want to enter a creative field and you have a partner or someone in your life, you are kind of like gambling on them and like their livelihood.
And they were clearly in a desperate situation, and they were like, "Well, I got to shoot my shot," you know?
Yeah.
I do. If they're like trying to win this contest to win $50, and they like can't afford much else at this point, I do have some judgment going their way of like spending 40 of those dollars on a guitar.
Yeah.
if you don't have any like pennies to your name and you get $50 and you're like, I'm gonna spend the majority of this on one guitar.
Uh-huh.
Well, but it cost 50 cents to fix a fence, so like maybe things don't actually cost that much. I don't know.
She could have got a new toolbox together for $10 probably. And he could have bought a new wash tub for a piano. He would have spent all the money on the piano. So actually his plan was much worse than her plan.
I think
Well,
the piano was
his-
only $12.
His plan was definitely worse. He was going to split
Oh.
it 4 ways.
Right.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, he didn't have enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a worse plan. Yeah, just let Ma
Like-
do it.
Or they should have just done it together. Like going behind each other's backs, like enter the
Yeah.
you guys have like a thing, you sing together.
You're already a musical act. Why
Yeah.
are you splitting up?
But in the end, it was all for naught anyways because they lost
'Cause
to
they
the
lost.
best band in the world.
They lost to the best nightmare band.
The nightmare. There's also a part when they're trashing the music store where when they leave, one of them is like polite and like apologizes for it. I don't really understand what they're going for with the nightmare band. They're like the nicest bad guys.
Yeah, I think they are guys who want to appear like badasses.
Yeah.
But they're not really that badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, badasses don't enter a talent contest, really.
That's true. That's true. They got artist souls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, anything else before we let you go, Catherine?
No, I
Any other
just really
thoughts?
hope that, like, if anybody who is listening to this podcast has not watched this show, that they do that and then tell everyone they know about it. It's so good. It's so, I mean, like, and when I hear about people who watch it and, like, don't like it, I'm like, well, you're wrong. We can't be friends.
Well, I think if you go in only having seen like the Muppet Show and the Muppet Movie, and you're like, cool, another Jim Henson movie, you're gonna be like, there's gonna be some whiplash at the beginning of like, I don't know what I'm watching right now.
Well, and you know, and it's in this like vein of them having done those other like storytelling movies prior with the Muppets, but
Right.
this just takes it to another realm. If you had seen any of those, you know, Frog Prince or something like that, maybe
Yeah,
you would-
Cinderella and all
this
those.
this
yeah.
would be less out of left field. But I don't think most people have seen those.
This one's much different in that it doesn't suck ass. So there's that.
I'm just curious. Are you going to watch The Christmas Toy? Is that on the list?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
we're actually debating whether or not we want to like bump that up and do it as a Christmas special this year, but
Looks
we are
deeply
we're going to
unsettling.
watch. Yeah,
I definitely did watch that one as a kid, and I was like, I kind of like this, and also kind of not.
That was that a later? That's a later Henson thing.
Yeah,
right?
that
A
one
little
was
bit.
It's in the 90s. It's after-
90s. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That's
think
when he's
it's-
on his weird shit. Catherine, have you seen The Great Santa Claus Switch?
I have not.
That
That's
one's
a
very
good one.
good.
Is it?
That's
Okay.
very good,
It's
yeah.
very weird.
It's very funny.
Have you seen Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree?
No. What?
That one stars Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
as this like spoiled rich kid,
Does it
What?
even have
And he-
Muppets in it, or does it just have Kermit
Yeah,
in it?
there's Muppets in it.
It does. Okay.
and he sings. And it's got Leslie Nielsen and Stockard Channing.
I bet it's a real
Okay.
piece
Well,
of crap.
I've got some work to do. I'll check them out. Well, I just really want to appreciate Paul Williams one more time, because that the musical element of this really does elevate it to another level. And I think it wouldn't have been the same without those songs.
I love that they kick it off with the song about their giant grandma and her bathing suit. I think that's so cool.
It's so
That's my
good.
favorite song too.
Yeah, that one is so good. Oh,
Well, my favorite part is that Paul Williams was given like the book to work off of, because in the book they mention the song titles, but there's nothing else about the lyrics or anything like that. Like they're just the song titles, and it was like, okay, Paul, go. And so he
That's
had to
cool.
take these song titles and make songs out of them.
yeah, and he nailed it.
Yeah, every single one works so incredibly well.
It's perfect. You know, yeah, even right down to barbecue.
Both versions of barbecue, the Jug-Band version, then also the what is it, the woodchuck or
Yancey
whoever
woodchuck.
is doing the other version. Yeah.
That song feels like a song that's been around for like 200 years. The barbecue
Yeah,
song.
it really does like capture the Americana spirit there.
It's songs that feel like they've existed forever.
Yeah.
Like When the River Meets the Sea feels like an old gospel song that you're like, oh, my grandma must know this song. And you're
Yeah.
like, no, it didn't exist before
Yeah.
1977.
Yeah, and the fact that he like wrote all of them, you know, like this is not the like Elton John came in and wrote, you know, one song for The Lion King, or Phil Collins came in and wrote one song for Tarzan.
Right.
You know, like he's like writing this thing. So good. Anyway, yep, it was just a perfect moment, perfect team. They did
Have you
so
seen
good.
the Popeye movie?
Yes, I have.
This reminded me of the
movie.
Popeye movie, kind of also.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's been a long time since I've
Interesting.
seen it, but yeah, it's sort of like a little enclosed world.
I think especially the giant grandma song reminded me of like a Harry Nilsson song that they would sing in Popeye.
Yeah.
But yeah, like kind of offbeat music that is like very old timey, but very like evocative and modern. And yeah, a little enclosed world of extremely poor little creatures, little freaks.
Just little freaks, just making it work.
Yeah.
Eating hamburgers. Have you seen that movie, Matt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a sort of not like really a guilty pleasure, but is one that I'm just like I have to be in the mood to watch Popeye.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you have to let yourself like get immersed into that place.
Yeah, that's not just like toss on anytime and enjoy.
Yeah. No, you're not doing something else while you're watching Popeye.
No, because I think it's a similar reaction where you sit down and you're like, wait, what is this?
How did this get made? What? Robin Williams, what are you doing?
A lot of cocaine, I think, is probably the answer to that. To
Just
both,
whatever.
The answer to both of those questions, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for inviting me. Love a chance to talk about Emmet Otter and how good it is. And I'm glad that you both enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and talking about it with us.
Thanks. I'll see you next time, I guess.
You can come talk to us about the Christmas toy.
No, I don't want to talk about the Christmas toy. I do not like the Christmas toy.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Thanks again to Katherine Green for being our guest this week on Commitment. Now it's time for us to get into our Muppet of the Week.
Surely it's Emmet Otter. Is it Emmet Otter? Is it Chuck the Bear, Matt? It's got to be one of the beloved characters from the movie we just watched.
It's not, Sam, because most of these characters we will never, ever see again. Some of them will pop up at the end of the Muppet movie during the Rainbow Connection number, where every other Muppet that exists also is. And some of the puppets will be reused as just generic animals on the Muppet Show, but the majority of them we will never, ever see again. So
is that like a copyright thing? Like they just couldn't use Emmet Otter again? Is that?
I don't think so. I think it's just such a self-contained thing that like it would be odd if Emmet Otter just popped up on the Muppet Show of like, hey guys, I'm here. It's like who are you?
It's pretty weird that Robin is on the Muppet Show. Like if you think about it too hard, or like Sweetums. But yeah, I suppose you're right. And they're a different style of puppet completely, basically.
Yeah, like I understand actually why in some versions of this they cut Kermit out of it, because it's actually weirder that Kermit is in it. He's obviously there to like sell it to people of like, hey, you recognize that guy.
Especially since there's another frog/toad in it who looks so different.
Doc Bullfrog does not look like he's at all related to Kermit.
But anyway,
no, we're not here to talk about any of them.
Is it Ma Otter?
It's not Ma Otter. It's not Doc Bullfrog. It's not even Harrison Fox, the local mayor.
Seems like a pun on Harrison Ford also, but it must not be, right?
I mean, I guess it could be. This was like being made, I guess, around the same time as like American Graffiti and Star Wars. So
I suppose, but the book was probably written. Maybe.
He probably exists in the book. Well,
maybe Harrison Ford named himself after Harrison Fox.
He's like, I can't just be Harrison Fox. I need a more realistic name. Ford. There we go.
Yeah, he looked out his window and saw a car drive by.
I like that Harrison Ford's naming backstory is as ridiculous as Han Solo's.
It's the same thing. Yeah, you're right.
But no, we are not here to talk about any of them, especially Harrison Ford this week. We are here to talk about Crazy Harry.
Hubba what?
Yeah, so there's not much to say about Crazy Harry. I gave us an easy one this week. Mostly it's to talk about Crazy Harry's origins and performers, and that's really about all you can talk about with Crazy Harry, because he's a kind of a one-note guy who shows up to blow things up whenever somebody says the word bang or boom or pow or mentions the idea of an explosion or that was dynamite. He will swoop into the room and say, ha ha ha, and hit his little detonator.
I get the impression he was meant for greater things than that, because he appeared in the he was like a main character of the Valentine's special, right?
Yeah, he's one of our oldest Muppets, aside from like the Sam and Friends and Rolf era. He appeared first on the Muppets Valentine's show back in 1974. Back then, he was actually Crazy Donald. In the Valentine show, he was not yet Crazy Harry, although nothing really changes between him being Donald and Harry. He looks the same, he acts the same, they just decided to change his name. But as I mentioned, he was performed by John Lovelady at first, and then in the 1975 pilot, Sex and Violence, Richard Hunt took over performing who was now named Crazy Harry at that point. But then it reverted back to John Lovelady for season 1 of The Muppet Show. So from 1976 to 1977, John Lovelady was performing Crazy Harry. And then in 1977, in season 2 of The Muppet Show, Jerry Nelson took over as the main performer for Crazy Harry and would perform Crazy Harry until 2003. And then at that point, we don't see a lot of Crazy Harry, partially because of Jerry Nelson's health. And there was also a quote from Jim Lewis, who's a writer for The Muppets, who said that there was some hesitation about using Crazy Harry in a post 9/11 world, that like explosions were a little less funny in the mid-aughts.
I mean, I think probably there are other parts of the world where explosions weren't funny already.
Oh, yeah.
But...
No, yeah, absolutely. But I think that was also, to me, that sounds like something that was like said in one writer's room one time, and they were like, maybe we should avoid it. And so there's a couple other times performers had stepped in. Richard Hunt actually stepped in for one appearance on CBS Sunday Morning in 1981. And Ricky Boyd, who is just kind of like a guy who does a lot of behind-the-scenes things for the Henson Company and the Muppets, has performed many characters, but like hasn't had like a main character that he has performed. But he performed Crazy Harry in the 2005 Muppets Wizard of Oz. And then Matt Vogel took over as Crazy Harry in 2008. And has been doing Crazy Harry ever since. I'd like to see, like, now that so many Muppet people are doing their performances from home, I'd like to see the crate of puppets that was, like, shipped to Matt Vogel's house of, like, here's every character you play.
Yeah, that's so interesting that they probably have to, like, take care of them and clean them and all that stuff, too. And they must take up so much space in their house.
Yeah, you have to imagine, like, Matt Vogel has like the Kermit puppet right now that is being used for so many things just in his house.
What if he spills juice on it?
You can't have a juicy Kermit.
No.
Yeah, like literally the only other things I have written down about Crazy Harry is that he has a full set of human teeth.
Oh, I never really thought about that.
And, most Muppets don't have human teeth, but he sure does. And it definitely
Dr.
adds
Teeth
to
does
his...
too, right?
Well, Dr. Teeth just has, like, the top row with the gold tooth included. But, like, Crazy Harry has, like, a bunch of individual, like, human-looking teeth.
Does he have gums as well? Let me take a look at him.
He feels like he would.
He's got some gums in there. Ew. I never really looked at him too carefully.
Yeah, he's got a full-on, like, human mouth. He's got the big bags under his eyes, the disheveled hair. Like, Crazy Harry has seen some shit. But yeah, that's literally all I can really find about.
He's got no family. He's got no friends.
He
nothing
blew them all
like
up.
That. Oh, no.
There was, in the Muppets Character Encyclopedia, there was a note that his mom gave him his first detonator for his 6th birthday.
This comes from a long line of demolition experts.
Apparently, yeah. But I know we've, not talked super favorably about Crazy Harry so far on this show. We don't typically like his sketches. When he shows up, we're usually wondering why he's taking up time on our show that we're watching. Yeah, overall feelings on Crazy Harry, Sam?
Last week, a couple weeks ago, we watched the episode where the Gonzo catches the cannonball. I think so far that has been my favorite use of Crazy Harry, because I do like that he could be used as one of those characters who's just like doing a job on the show, like Hilda or Zelda, whichever one it is, the costume lady. Like, I like the idea of Crazy Harry. And there are times when he will, especially I think in the Valentine show, he has a couple lines and he sounds like the little bad kids in Nightmare Before Christmas. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
he's got like that little creepy voice. Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Those are the ones.
Yeah, he sounds like them sometimes. And when he has got a little bit more of like the creepy personality that he had then, I liked him better. Now he just like cackles and blows stuff up. I don't know. I have kind of torn feelings about him. I think he's a cool looking puppet. There's just nothing much to do with him really. So I think all in all, my rating of Crazy Harry would be 2. You don't need him.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I do like the way they use him from time to time, especially in that Gonzo sketch we watched. And I think when they use him in those ways where he feels like he's a part of the crew, I enjoy him more than when he just randomly shows up in things and it's like, oh, okay. It sort of feels like an easy out for a joke of like, I don't know, how do we end this sketch? I don't know, have Crazy Harry show up and blow it up. Done.
And that already is like a easy, like them blowing something up at the end already is their easy out, and it seems even easier if they have a guy who can just pop up and blow something up. They found even more of a shortcut to ending their sketches.
Yeah.
But I think he is maybe like other Muppets that I have a soft spot for just because of their role in Muppet 3D at Disney World, and he blows up the whole theater. I kind of like that. I like when Kermit yells at him in the Muppet movie for some reason. That line when he's like, "That's enough of that, Harry," sticks with me. Like, they all hate this guy.
Yeah, I feel like New Zealand and Crazy Harry are... somebody could tell me that they were like brothers, and I would believe you, because I feel like they have a very similar energy, and they're similarly disliked by their fellow Muppets.
Yeah. Maybe they like each other. I hope that they're at least friends with each other.
I feel like they're the only two that like are hanging out at a party, and they're like, "Where's everybody else? Why didn't anybody else come to our party?"
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine Crazy Harry and New Zealand being roommates who throw parties that nobody else comes to.
That's really sad. I don't want to think about that.
But it feels right?
It does feel right. Yeah. Crazy Harry these days probably plays a lot of violent video games, I would guess. He probably plays tons of... He's got like a gaming PC.
I could see him.
Like Call of Duty.
Yeah, I could see him streaming. Yeah, if I was gonna... I feel like he's gonna get one of my lower ratings as well, because I don't necessarily like him, and the times I have seen him used well don't necessarily make up for all the times I've been like, "God damn it, this guy's here."
Yeah.
So he's gonna get a 27.
That's your lowest yet, maybe.
It might be.
Lowest
I don't
yet?
remember anything that I say on this podcast, so I'm gonna just state that is the lowest rating I've ever given.
Okay, worst Muppet, Crazy Harry. Until we get to New Zealand and
Marvin Suggs.
Who's that other guy? I always want to call him Mo Rocca.
That's a real
that's
human.
a different guy. That's a real man.
I have no problems with Mo Rocca. Marvin Suggs, I despise. As we mentioned earlier, it is Halloween when we are recording this, and so I know I've been watching some spooky stuff this past week. Have you had the chance to watch any non-Muppet / spooky things this week, Sam?
I finished The Haunting of Hill House, which I think I talked about a couple episodes ago. The last episode sucks so bad. Like, it makes the whole thing not really worth it to me. But it's a fun little Halloween thing. The last episode just is no good. I think today I'm going to go upstairs and start watching spooky stuff the rest of the day, probably. We did go see Dune.
Ooh.
Which I don't know what I thought about Dune. I think the main problem... I liked it, but I think it's so obviously not a complete story that you might as well almost wait until Dune 2 comes out and just watch them both at once.
Yeah.
Because it ends at maybe like the most boring part of the entire story, I would say. It's just a lot of walking around, and then it's just over. So Dune's good, but maybe wait 2 years and see Dune 2 when it comes out and get the whole story, perhaps. Or maybe there's 3 coming. I think it's actually going to be in 3 parts. So
wait 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, in 2030 you can watch all of Dune. How about you?
We were just watching some spooky stuff. We watched it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, classic.
Terrifying.
But we also watched the 1931 Frankenstein.
Oh, how's that? I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's good. It holds up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best of the old Universal movies, but it's good, and I think it's only like 70 minutes or something like that, so it kind of flies by. And yeah, if you can deal with the very outdated, acting and special effects, I think you're in for a good time.
Have you seen The Bride of Frankenstein?
Once a long time ago, but I've heard it's the best one.
That one's wild. There's some creepy stuff in that one.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do the same thing and watch some more spooky stuff this afternoon. And while we got some trick-or-treaters coming up at the door, I'm sure we'll just be sitting inside with our... We'll leave our bowl of candy out on the porch for them to take from, and we will just sit there and watch spooky things.
Yeah, perfect Halloween. Halloween's great on a Sunday because you don't have to go to a party. And you went to the party on Saturday, and then you can just sit around and be spooky. But now it's Christmas time. It's mid-November already by the time people are listening to this. So
yeah,
I'm already making my gingerbread cookies and whatnot.
Well, it's the perfect time for people to start watching Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas.
That's true. Yeah, because it's not the most Christmassy Christmas special I've ever seen.
Right, it's centered around the idea of buying Christmas gifts for each other. But that's all the Christmas that is happening in it.
And like the resolution of the story, they don't even buy presents or anything. They get a job at a nightclub, which is not particularly Christmassy.
No. But yeah, we that's the non-Muppet things we watched this week. Again, we recommend checking out Emmet Otter's Jug-Band Christmas if you have not seen it before. It's the third Jug-Band we've been introduced to. We had the Gogolala Jubilee Jug-Band. We have Lubbock Lou and his Jug Huggers. And we have the Frogtown Hollow Jubilee Jug-Band.
Yes, they used the Jubilee Jug-Band twice.
It's too good. It sounds great.
I wonder if they're called that in the book, and Jim read that in the book, and then he named his Jug-Band in the Muppet Show after the Jubilee Jug-Band in the book.
And maybe when he was like making Emmet Otter, he's like, I guess we got to get rid of our Jubilee Jug Band if we're going to make another Jubilee Jug Band. So get those Jug Huggers in here. But yeah, it's just it's a beautiful like movie from both like visually and storytelling wise. And there are obviously some weird puppeteering moments where they're using marionettes and the feet don't really touch the ground.
Yeah, but I missed marionettes. I liked when the Muppets would integrate that more into what they were doing.
My favorite is like watching the behind the scenes and they're like up in a cherry picker up above the set and it looks so precarious and unstable as they're like walking these things across. So I'm like, okay, it looks a little off, but they were able to get that in a very weird, precarious situation. So good on them. But yeah, between like the marionettes, the hand puppets, and then the radio controlled, the ones that are rowing the boat that we mentioned earlier.
That's how they did the boat?
Yeah, so the boat is remote control. There's like a robot Emmet that is rowing. The heads of Ma and Emmet in those scenes are controlled from like 20 feet away by the puppeteers using the little thing that they'll use on Fraggle Rock and a lot of other projects going forward. That's basically a robotic puppet that they put on their hand that controls the puppet that's like 20 feet away from them.
What the hell? And they were doing that in 1977?
Yeah, it was apparently, they didn't talk much about this like on the documentary, but they mentioned that it was like NASA engineers invented this to be used in like space, like this sort of like using your hand to manipulate a tool elsewhere. Was essentially like invented for like space means, but the Henson Company and Faz Fazakis and Don Saline took that and were like, oh, we can make puppets with this. And so that's how they do the remote control stuff is like, that's why they like have a boat going down a river is like, there's no one underneath that river. That's just all robots, baby.
I think it was so refreshing to watch something not with the core cast of Muppets in it. Because like I said, we've been watching a lot of Muppet stuff. And it's just fun to go back to kind of like more experimental mode from Jim, and one where it kind of feels like he's letting other people into the process a little bit more or something. Like some of those specials, like Hey Cinderella, took like 7 years to make or like to figure out or something. But this one just feels like he just like collaborated with all his friends and they busted it out and it looked really good.
Yeah, it was like, hey, Jerry, you want to write this script? Hey, Paul, you want to write these songs? Let's make this cute little thing. Yeah,
like he's not in his own way anymore. He's just kind of like, he's really hit his groove 30 years into his career, which is, I think, interesting. It's like fun that to see his arc to the point where it's just like pure artistry now with none of the like hang-ups or second guessing that you could kind of feel in some of this other stuff.
Yeah, so I would say, again, it's available on YouTube if you want to go watch that version, and it's also available on Blu-ray if you want to see a slightly nicer quality version that also has the documentaries and bloopers and everything on there.
But also still clearly from a 70s like television quality.
Yeah, it was shot on video, so they can't really do like a 4K super high-res transfer of this thing because the original film stock doesn't exist. But next week, we are getting back into our Muppet Show watchings, and we actually have a lot of stuff to watch and talk about next week because we are talking about everything the Muppets were up to between December 9th, 1977, and January 30th, 1978. We are getting into a brand new year. And so this will include the episodes of The Muppet Show Season 2 featuring guest Zero Mostel, Rudolph Nureyev, and Judy Collins. And we'll also be watching an episode of Storybook Squares, which is the children's version of Hollywood Squares.
Wow.
Yeah, and Big Bird's on that. And then we'll also have a clip from a behind-the-scenes little documentary thing they made for a show called Vision USA, which is just like a little behind-the-scenes of the Muppet Show thing. And also, there's a segment on the Bob Hope All-Star Christmas Comedy Special that we'll be checking out. So if you want to see those, you can follow us on Twitter to see the playlist and the links to all those things. But before we go, we need to thank our friend Tuna for creating the music for this podcast and Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. You can follow this podcast, like I said, on Twitter @CommitmentPod, and you can email us at mail@commitment.com. That's just if you have any, Muppet memories or thoughts about our podcast that you want to share. Nice ones, please.
Only.
And you can follow me on the internet @Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.